Hey guys, uh, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video like this. And I know this is like pretty late, but the English start decks for Will Dress are coming out in October next month. So I still think it's okay to talk about it even now. As you can see, the Will Dress start decks are out in Japanese, and as you can guess, I am gonna talk about them and how to play them. Um, yeah, and that's basically it for the intro, I guess. I do apologize that this took a long time, but well, here the video is, and let's get started. I'm of course going to start with the first trial deck, Urara's trial deck with Lianorn, and then we're going to go with trial deck 02 and 03. So let's get into it, I guess. Okay, so let's get started with the contents of the deck itself when you buy it. So this time they actually did something pretty cool, and the when you purchase the trial deck, the box that it comes in, it's also a actual deck box that you can use. I mean, yeah, it's just like cheap plastic like this, but honestly, it's not that bad, and it's pretty cool that they gave it to you since you don't have to spend any extra money on buying it, especially since you're already paying like a normal price, I guess, for a trial deck when you purchase this. It's not like the $3 trial deck anymore. Sorry, start decks. But I would say that the Will Dress trial decks are actually cheaper than normal ones. You would probably pay $16-17, I guess, for normal trial deck in other card games. But it's kind of cool that Bushiroad managed to sell this for, I guess, about like $13. So just a few bucks cheaper, and they give you a deck box, and they give you sleeves as well, and a bunch of extra stuff. So I guess we're gonna go through the extra stuff first, since that'll be really quick. First of all, this is the first guide that they give you. We don't really need to look at that since you know what it entails, at least. And this is the playmat that you get. It's also pretty nice that, yes, it is paper, but on the back of the playmat, sorry, you can't see the whole thing, but it's actually really nice art. So even on paper, even though it's paper, you can use this if you playmat when you're learning. Sorry, I mean when you're learning the game, you can play with this on this side, on the front side, which just features all the rules and stuff to teach you the game. And then when you're ready to play without those, you can use this nice art without having to actually buy a playmat, which is pretty nice, to be honest. Like the art is really nice. But they do have plastic. Sorry, I mean they already have rubber playmat versions of those, so you can also buy them. They have the same art. And then this is kind of just a Japan exclusive thing. When you buy it, there was something called the Vanguard City Trial. If you watch the streams, you'll know what it is. It's over now. It was happening in July when the trial decks actually came out. I do want to talk about it a bit though, because it's pretty interesting. It was a puzzle solving kind of thing where you walk around a bunch of shops and you solve puzzles to get a keyword, and then you fill that into a sheet, and you'll get the final like answer. You fill that in, you show it to a shop, and then they give you a deck, like a deck case, like a deck box that can hold other deck boxes. Yeah, a storage case. Sorry, and they also gave you this when you buy the trial deck. You also get these fighters coins, which is pretty nice. You can use them to mark triggers. This is the backside. Okay, so that was it for the bonus content, except for one card, and that's this PR card. So previously, this card was not included inside of the trial deck itself. You had to purchase the trial deck, and then when the shop had stock of it, they would give it to you as a bonus. Again, the problem is that, like I mentioned, if they had stock of it. So you can imagine when the trial decks first came out and a lot of people were buying them, they were sold out everywhere. I had a pretty tough time getting them, but a friend of mine helped me out. So they also picked up the PR card, and they had and basically it was almost impossible to get it where I was buying anyway, the trial decks from. But fortunately now they reprinted the trial decks, and on the inside it's the PR card is already included. So people who are gonna buy it in English, lucky for you, it's already gonna be automatically like included in the trial deck itself. So you don't have to worry about stock when you just have to worry about getting the actual trial deck. So that's really good because this card is pretty important, and I'll explain it right now actually. So it is a sentinel, and that means that you cannot, it means a PG is also a sentinel, so you're gonna have to swap one PG out for this, and you can only have one copy of this in your deck. So yeah, that's why I said you only need to switch out one PG, because you can only run one copy of this anyway. But it is worth it, since it says that when you're, so it's a blitz order, by the way, so you can play this during your opponent's turn. When your opponent's vanguard, with triple drive, if your opponent has a vanguard with triple drive, then you can play this without you paying the cost. So in other words, if your opponent is like on a grade 4, so in standard, if you're on grade like Nirvana, the grade 4 Nirvana or Bastion, all that, since these grade 3, since these trial decks have only up until grade 3, this is pretty nice. If your vanguard is grade 3 or less, then you can discard one card from your hand to activate, choose one of your units, and then it cannot be hit, and then remove this card from play. So it's basically a sentinel, a PG essentially, but it helps you to survive longer while your opponent is, let's say you're not on a grade 3, when your opponent's on a grade 4, this will save you, especially since it's a grade 1, so you can play it on your grade 1 or 2 turn. It's really good in premium since the right deck doesn't exist, and you can miss like accidentally brick and just not right up. Okay, that took a bit more time than I thought, but we'll actually get to the deck itself now, and then I'm gonna explain how to play. So forgive me if this does take a while, because explaining it is gonna take a while. This is gonna probably be a long video. Let's get started with the grade 3, with the right line first, and then we'll get to the rest of the deck. So I do want to mention that I have already opened the deck, as you can see, and they are already sleeved, but that did help me get a better feel about how to play the deck, so I can explain it better later on. And I do want to mention that I have swapped out certain cards here, as you can see already, but I will show you guys these cards, since these ones are in the trial deck. I haven't swapped in any cards from packs yet, from set 6, so all of this is included in the trial deck. There is a PR pack included in the trial deck as well, and I'll show you which cards were included in that PR pack. Yeah, so this is our ride line. We have the starter here, and this was included in the PR pack, by the way. The grade 0, the grade 1, and the grade 2. Randomly, you can get one card from the PR pack in foil, so I got the starter, which is pretty lucky. The ones that you originally get outside the PR pack is this version, where it explains the rules. So another cool thing that they did is that they included cards in the trial deck that actually have explanations of the rules here, so you can read them as you play while you're learning. And for example, this says intercept, and when you finally get used to it, you can use the cards in the PR pack that have the actual skills written on them. And by the way, you can actually play these cards with the rules written on them legally in tournaments and stuff. So let's go over the grade 0. Your starter does what every starter does when you ride over it. Draw 1. The grade 1. Oh, by the way, unlike the start decks, these the ride line that you get, you only get one copy of each. I mean, of the grade 1 and 2. So unlike the start decks where you got more than, you got like 4 copies of the grade 1 and 2. So but you don't really need more than one, so maybe the grade 2 if you want. But anyways, so when this unit's rode over by the grade 2 Rectina, then you can call this card to R. So that's pretty good. You can call it from your soul. It does have a rear guard effect, which is pretty good. When this unit boosts a vanguard for that battle, this unit gets power plus 5k. So it's 13k booster when boosting van, pretty good. The grade 2, when this card's ridden over by a card with Lianorn in its card name, Soul Blast 1, and then you can take a card from your drops, a grade 1 or lower from your drop zone, and call it to R. And then has a rear guard skill as well. So when this unit's in the back row, if you have 3 or more units in the back row, then this unit gets boost. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Not if it's in the back row. It's just if you have 3 or more rear guards in the back row. This is included, of course. It gets boost. So it's a 10k booster. Really good. And of course, you finally have the actual boss, Lianorn. So this is the trial deck version. And there is a different version in the packs, which when you want to upgrade, you will want to get that one instead of using this trial deck version. But the top skill is the same and the bottom skill is just different. So let's get to what the top skill does. When this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, discard 1 card from your hand, and then boost. Take all of your back row units that are standing with boost, and then boost this unit. If you boost with 3 or more, then for that battle, this unit gets drive plus 1, and at the end of the battle, choose 2 of your rear guards in the back row and stand them. So that's really good. Because Lianorn can hit for really high numbers, and that's essentially how you play. You attack with Vanguard first, you boost with your back row rears, you get an extra drive, so that's triple drive. But keep in mind that Lianorn's ability up here is twin drive, not triple drive. So because of that, this Sentinel does not activate, the triple drive thing doesn't activate. It's just if at the top here, your opponent's Vanguard originally has triple drive. I want to quickly mention that. Then it has a rear guard skill as well, so when this unit is boosted, it gets power plus 5k. So the trial deck versions do have rear guard skills, so if you don't have a lot of money to spend on buying other upgrade cards, you can just use this after you purchase the pack version of the grade 3 boss, of course. Another good thing I want to mention is that you will still be running at least one copy of this in your ride line, because When you write the Grade 3 Lianorn, this is for all the other trial decks. When you write the pack version of the Grade 3 over the trial deck version, they are treated as a Persona Rite, which is so that means you can have Persona 4 Persona Rites if you include this in the ride line first, and you can have 4 copies of the pack version in your main deck. So I want to just explain that real quick. That's it for the ride lines, and let's get to the actual contents of the deck. Probably not gonna take that long. I'm gonna kind of speed it up a bit. So of course, 3 Lianorn in the main deck. Then you have Clapping Dragon. This card's pretty good. When placed when placed in the front row R from your hand, if you have 3 or more cards in the back row, counterblast 1, draw 1, and then if your opponent's grade 3 or higher, for that turn, this unit gets power plus 10k. Really good beat stick. You get it at 4 copies. And then you have Groovy Dragon. So when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have 3 or more units in the back row, CB1. For that battle, power plus 10k. Also pretty good. I believe this is actually, you get this at 4 copies as well. But I'm only running 2. And then you have Upbeat Dragon. You also get this at 4. By the way, all trial decks share a card similar to Upbeat Dragon. It's a grade 2 with it's a grade 2 and has an intercept ability. So when this unit intercepts, if you have if in your back row you have 2 or more grade 1 or lower rear yards, for that battle it gets shield plus 10k, so it's a 15k shield if you have grade 1 or lower cards, 2 or more grade 1 or lower cards in your back row. So you're gonna want to keep that for defense. Of course, very nice. Of course, you have the PG, new art for the PG, but it does the same as what the start deck PG does, so you are going to want to swap it out with the new PGs in the packs. And now moving on to the other grade ones that are not PGs. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to explain. In the trial deck also, when you buy it, there's another really cool thing. You get these character sleeves as well. Unfortunately, these will not be by the way, there's 53 of these in the trial deck. Unfortunately, in English, they don't come in the trial deck. You're gonna have to purchase them separately. Not sure why, but that does kind of suck. But oh well. Then this card was actually included in the PR pack. I believe Clapping Dragon was also included in that PR pack. Kiara. So when this unit boost hits a Vanguard. Sorry, when the attack that this unit boosted hits a Vanguard, put 1 grade 2 or lower card from your hand into your soul to draw 1. Pretty good. Actually helps with soul, since Lianorn also needs soul blast. Then you have this card as well, which I think was not included in the PR pack. It just was in the trial deck itself. So when your Vanguard, when you have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard, counterblast 2 and then draw 1. So if you're on grade 3, just CB2, draw 1. A lot of people will probably cut this. I might cut it as well, but I just left it in there because CV2 to draw 1 was pretty not bad, I guess. Lianorn didn't use a lot of CV. And then you have this card, which you get at 3 copies, and again, similar to the grade 2 with intercept. All the other trial decks also have this a grade 1 with the same skill. At these, when this card is discarded during your ride phase, so if you're paying the cost for the to ride from the ride deck, then you just can discard this card and the effect will activate. Call it to rear guard circle. So it is 6k power, but it's pretty good because you just get you get to call it again. You can swap it out if you want, but if you don't, it's still pretty decent to run at maybe not 4, maybe 3 or so. Here we are, do have the trigger lineups now. Crit, and as usual on the triggers they explain what they do. A lot of people really like the art on this, by the way. It's kind of a fan favorite. You, of course, for crit, now you actually get 4 front as well. You get 4 draw, but I only included 3 here. 4 heal, of course. The over trigger actually was not included in the trial deck. It was included in the PR pack. So the good thing about that is that they give you 4 copies of like each trigger. So unlike before where they had cut 1 trigger for the over trigger in the start decks, now because the over trigger was in the PR pack, you can choose what to take out, which trigger you want to take out and put it in, swap it in with, I mean, yeah. So that's why there was 4 fronts and 4 draws, but I already swapped it out, of course. So, and 2 order cards, which I believe was not in the PR pack, I think. Anyway, Soul Blast 1, I don't want to confuse you guys, by the way, just to clear it up. The PR pack is included in the trial deck, and it contains 2 copies of each card in that like PR pack, except for the ride line ones. Oh, never mind. Then I guess this was, since I have 2 of these, I think this was in the PR pack. If you wanted 4 copies, by the way, you would have to purchase them separately. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, Soul Blast 1 play, it is a normal order, by the way, so play only on your turn during your main phase. Soul Blast 1 to play. For that turn, choose one of your grade 1 or lower rear guards, and then, for that turn, all of your grade 1 or lower rear guards get power plus 5k. Pretty good. Doesn't matter if it's in the front or the back, just gets 5k. So most of your grade 1s will be 13k. And this is actually okay at 2 copies. So Clapping Dragon, for example, was at 2 copies, but I really like the card, so I purchased 2 additional copies. Yeah. And you'll see that as well in the other trial decks. So that's it for the main deck itself that you get in the trial deck, including the PR cards. And now we have these cards that were originally in the trial deck, and I'll just show it real quick that I had swapped out. So of course you have the starter here, and then that explains the rules. This is the draw trigger I swapped out for the over trigger. The grade 1 also explaining the rules. The this grade 1 was on the PR pack, sorry, and you do got it at 4. So yeah, it just explains what boost does. The grade 2 for the right line, of course, and then this vanilla grade 2. So in the start decks, this was a vanilla, but now it's still a vanilla, but it can explain intercept. And Groovy Dragon. So this was included at 4 in the trial deck, but I had swapped 2 out for 2 Clapping Dragon. So that's why there's 2 Groovy Dragons here. And well, that goes it for basically the contents of the trial deck. And now I'm gonna get into how to actually play the trial deck, and I'll talk about like a few cards you can buy to upgrade it other than the pack grade 3 Lianorn. So basically what you're gonna want to do is, of course, you're gonna want Lianorn here. Then you can have this grade 2 if you want. You can have the grade 1 here, and you're gonna want to have something else to help boost. So let me just get one thing here. Okay, sure, this is fine, we'll get this. We'll put that there, and let's say you have like 2 other rears, let's say here, and over here as well, sure. So this is just like something to quickly explain how to play. Hope you can see everything. I guess not, but anyways, sorry, this looks kind of messy, but please bear with it. It's just to explain. So let's say you have a board like this. What you're gonna want to do is, let's say this is your hand as well. So first you're gonna want to attack with Van Lianorn, and you're not gonna want to boost with the back row unit here. Then you're gonna want to activate its skill. So Soul Blast 1, like let's say that card was in your soul attack, Soul Blast 1, and then discard one card from your hand. So say discard this. Now all of your back row rear guards are standing, so you're gonna boost with it. So that's gonna be 10, 8, with its skill 13 because it was 5k. So as you can see, you're gonna add all of that to Lianorn, and that's gonna be really big. Then you're gonna perform triple drive because of its skill. So you know, you go 1, 2, 3, like that. And then you're going, then after that battle, whether it hits or not, you get to restand your rears, and so you can attack and boost again with them, and that's essentially how you're gonna want to play the deck. Pretty simple, pretty short explanation, I know, sorry, but that's essentially how you play. You attack with Vanguard first, you restand both cards in the back row, and you restand 2 cards in the back row. Namely, you're gonna want to restand the cards here, that's not behind the Vanguard, so they can boost your 2 other rears in the front. So Lianorn's gonna be hitting for really big numbers, forcing your opponent to drop lots of guard or even a PG. So you can dump any triggers. If you can't hit, you can dump any triggers onto your other rears. Lianorn is pretty much the simplest trial deck out of the 3, to be honest. That's my opinion anyways, but I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me on that. So that kind of goes it for the explanation of the trial deck. Let me just put stuff back into the deck. And now we're going to talk about upgrade options. So of course, you're going to want to out 1 PG for this Sentinel. You're gonna play one of this, and then you're going to want to swap out the PG, the grade 1 PG in this trial deck for the ones in the pack as well. Do want to mention it, they do have different art, but you can still play the old one if you want. And then we're gonna get to a few cards here. So let's get to one of the more important ones, Sukusei here. This card is pretty good. It's the triple rare basically in set 6 for Lianorn. So when this unit boosts a Vanguard Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or higher rear guards that is not being attacked, and then force it to move to G circle, and then if you couldn't move it, this unit gets power plus 5k till for that battle, till end of turn. So like I said, when it boosts Vanguard, so it doesn't have to be behind Van as well, since Lianorn can make it boost even from a different circle. So that's pretty good. You can you can force your opponent to intercept and get rid of any of their annoying grade 2 or higher rears. Like for example, when Urara was fighting Yu, she forced she used this card to force Yu to move his Garo Verina, I believe, or one of his crossover dressed Verinas anyway, to Guardian Circle, and she got rid of it. But when Yu had put the Verina, I believe it was Will's Verina, it had resist, so she couldn't move that card because that Sukusei got power plus 5k and was essentially a 10k booster. Yes, 5k boost, but if you don't get to if you don't get to get rid of one of your opponent's rear guards, then you do get a 10k booster. Keep in mind, you need Soul Blast 1, but yeah, that's one card you're gonna want to buy for 4 copies. As you can see, it was 100 yen, so not that expensive, still pretty good. And then this order card is also something that's pretty neat, I guess you can use. So if you have a Vanguard with Lianorn card name, counter +1 to play, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and then um, choose 2 grade 1 or lower unit cards. Sorry, choose up to 2. You don't have to choose 2. You can choose up to, so you can even just call 1 if you want. And then call it to rear, sorry. And then shuffle your deck. So that's also pretty good. It is a grade 3, so you can really only play when you're on Leonorn. Even the conditions here says you have to have a Leonorn Vanguard, so yeah, on your grade 3 turn. But if your opponent sort of board wipes you, this is really going to help. If maybe you're searching for a particular grade 1 like Success, this is going to help. But I don't think you need to run it at 4. Maybe you should. I picked up 2, so I think 2 is good enough. You can play 3 if you want, but keep in mind it is an order card, so you don't want to play 4 copies and then not leave space for some other important cards. Well, that's about it for the Leon Trial deck. It did take a long time, as I said, and probably it will continue to take a long time for the rest of the trial decks as well. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that's you got an idea about how to play Leonor now. Um, and hope you guys are excited to pick it up when it comes out in English. So I'll see you guys in a different video then. We're gonna cover Dragult next. So see ya.